بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن أنس رضي الله قال خرجنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من المدينة إلى مكة فكان يصلي ركعتين حتى رجعنا إلى المدينة قيل لو أقمتم بمكة شيئا قال أقمنا بها 10 متفق عليه. Anas radiallahu anhu said we came out with Nabi Akram from Medina to Makkah, then we recited 2 rakats until we returned to Medina. It was asked of him, did you stay by Makkah for a period? He says, yes, we stayed there 10 days. So Nabi Karim Sallallahu reached Makkah on the 4th of Dhul Hijjah, and he left Makkah on the 14th of Dhul Hijjah. So that was the 10 days. Right. This hadith apparently is contrary to what is the mazhab of Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, who says that anyone who stays more than 4 days can't be a mukim anymore. You understand? Now you can't be a musafir. He is now a mukim if you stay more than 4 days. Right. When Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu qala safara an-nabiy sallallahu alaihi wasallam safaran faqama 19 yawman yusalli rak'atayn. قال ابن عباس فنحن نصلي فيما بيننا وبين مكة 19 ركعتين فإذا قمنا أكثر من ذلك صلينا 4 رواه البخاري. Then Ibn Abbas said that Nabi Akram made a safar, and he stayed for 19 days and he was reciting two rakats. So Ibn Abbas said, and we used to recite that which is between us and between Makkah 19 days, then we would recite 2 rakats. So when we stayed more than that, we would recite 4. So this was the mazhab of Ibn Abbas, that 19 days, you understand, then you're still a musafir. But what we interpret this hadith to mean is that he stayed 19 days in the sense that he wasn't sure how many days he's going to stay. So he had always intention to leave, you understand it? And as long as that is there, then you continue making qasr, even if it goes 2 years also. Even if you stay years also in a place, but your intention is, I'm going to leave tomorrow, I'm going to leave the next 5 days, next 10 days, next 14 days, then you still continue making qasr, even if you stay like that for years, right? So Imam Shafi rahmatullah's mazhab is just here that if a person is going to stay 4 days, right, and then one day for safar, right? So 1 day for safar, 1 day. So anything more than 4 days, then is a mukim, right? And he also says that making such an intention here also won't change the fact, like how we say that you're staying now. So say even if you, according to Imam Shafi rahmatullah, if a person comes into Islam and left next 2 days, then after that, next 3 days, next 2 days, next 3 days, and he stays like us one way. Now how we said if he does it for 15 days, he'll continuously be a musafir, whether it goes 2 years also. Imam Shafi will say, at the end of the day, you just look how many days he stayed already. You understand? The moment he's above 4, then he must make full salah. Even if he had this intention, I'm leaving tomorrow, I'm leaving after 2 days. The moment at the end of the day he's above 4, he must make full salah. Right. وأن حفص بن عاصم رضي الله عنه صحبت ابن عمر في طريق مكة فصلى لنا الظهر ركعتين ثم جاء رحله وجلس فرأى ناسا قياما فقال ما يصنع هؤلاء قلت يسبحون قال لو كنت مسبحا أتممت صلاتي صحبت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فكان لا يزيد في السفر على ركعتين وأبا بكر وعمر وعثمان كذلك متفق عليه. Hafs ibn Asim rahmatullahi say, I accompanied Ibn Umar in the path to Makkah, and he recited with Azhar 2 rakats. Then his conveyance came and he said, then he saw people standing. So he said, what are these people doing? So I said, they're making nafil. They're making their sunnats. So I said, if I was going to make nafil in my sunnats, I would have read full salah. I have accompanied Nabi Karim Sallallahu, and he never used to increase in safar upon 2 rakats, and Abu Bakr and Umar and Usman radiallahu anhum also like that. As Ibn Malik rahmatullah, he says that this hadith is a proof for those people who says that you shouldn't make your nafil on your safar. You understand? You shouldn't make any nafil on your safar. There is some that say that, right? وعن عبد الله بن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال كان الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يجمع بين صلاة الظهر والعصر إذا كان على ظهر سير ويجمع بين المغرب والعشاء رواه البخاري. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said Nabi Akram used to gather between the Zohar and the Asr when he is on a travel, and he used to gather between Maghrib and Isha, narrated by Bukhari. Imam Shafi rahmallah, they practice on this ayat here, where he says that you can do Jama Bain Salatain, right? You're either going to be doing Jama Taqdeem or Jama Ta'khir, right? In one time, right? Ahnaf say you can't do Jama Bain Salatain. All the hadiths is referred to Jama Bain Salatain. We say, and we make Tawil, and we say this Jama Suri. In other words, you make your Zohar at the end time of Zohar, and you make your Asr in the first time of Asr. Right. When Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu qala kana Rasulullah يصلي في السفر على راحلته حيث توجهت به يومي إيمان صلاة الليل إلا الفرائض ويوتر على راحلته متفق عليه. Nabi Ibn Umar said Nabi used to recite in the safar upon his conveyance wherever he would face, whichever direction face. He would make gestures for the night salahs, in others for the nafil salahs and the night salahs, except the farais, and he would make witr also on his conveyance. However, they say takbir tahlima, he must try and face the qibla there for takbir tahlima. Then after that, whichever direction the animal face, right? Now, obviously, now if you now already in a plane or something, on the bus, and you want to make your nafil, now you're forced to now start your you try and first get your takbir tahlima towards qibla. You understand? Then after that, you can face whichever direction the bus or the train, whatever is moving, or the car. From this hadith, we find that the first thing is that you're allowed to make nafil salahs on your conveyance, but you can't make your farz salahs. Right. In this hadith, although they spoke about the night salahs, but this refers also to the day nafil salahs also, right? And when it comes to the sunans, then also you can make it now on safar. Now you can make it also in the conveyance. However, Imam Baniva rahmallah say because of the emphasis of the two sunnahs of Fajr, you should make it on the floor. You understand? And in fact, in one riwayat he says that it's wajib to get off and make the sunnahs of Fajr on the floor, standing, right? And when it comes to farais, you can't make your farais on the conveyance sitting, right? However, there are a few times when you can, when you are absolute necessity. What are those absolute necessities? For example, you're in the jungle and you fear that if you get off, you'll be attacked by some animal or some enemy, right? That's one, right? Or your animal is of such a wild, it's so wild that you fear that if you get off, you won't be able to get on. You got that? Right. The other is the person on the animal is so weak and so old that he fears that if he gets off, he can't get off. Or if he can get off, but he won't be able to get on, and there's nobody there to help him, right? Then he can make what's the name? Or the other one is there's lots of mud where the animal, so you can't get off into it, get stuck in that mud there. You understand? Or there's heavy rain, right? Imam Muhammad rahmatullah in his Mu'atta mentions that there is sufficient riwayas from Sahaba and Tabi'een that when it comes to witr, they would get off the animal and recite their witr. Right. So then so that's got to do with the witr, right? The other masla that's here that it shows that when you the only time you're allowed to read your nawafil on is when you're on safar, and this is the maslak of the jamhur. You need to be on a shari safar, then only. You understand? But there is some explanation there now, which means you can't read it in the city, right? When Aisha radiallahu anha أنها قالت كل ذلك قد فعل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كسر الصلاة وأتم رواه في شرح السنة. And Imam Aisha radiallahu anha said that all of that Nabi Akram used to do. He used to make kasar of the salah, he used to make short salah, and he used to make complete salah. From this hadith, what you understand is that Nabi Akram used to practice on both. Sometimes he would make uh, 2 rakats, sometimes he would make 4 rakats. So that's also the maslak of Imam Shafi'i, rahmatullah alayh. He says that when you're on safar, you can make kasar is also permissible, although according to him, itmam is also permissible, but according to him, kasar is also awla. Whereas Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah says that itmam is not permissible, you have to make kasar, right? When it comes to this hadith here, what answer do Ahnaf have for this hadith? They say there's a person in the riwayat there, one of the narrators, Ibrahim bin Yahya, and therefore that hadith now becomes za'if. Right? And what else does it say here? They say even if you take this hadith to be sahih, then you say that this has got to do with the at the beginning. At the beginning, itmam and kasar both was permissible. Afterwards, we say that it became necessary only to make kasar. Right? The other ta'wil you give for this hadith here is that as the Aisha radiallahu anha riwayat here is it used to do itmam for those salahs which you can't make kasar, like your 3 rakats maghrib and your 2 rakats fajr. You understand? And he used to make kasar with those which you can make kasar. Right. Okay, leave it till there.